I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Julie.
We are moms and we're super basic. We've got our drinks and we're ready to chat. Cheers.
Cheers.
So today is Friday, January 8th, and we've got so much to cover tonight. So let's get started with what we always do, our drinks. What are you drinking? You're drinking something different. What's happening?
Barely different. It's still Barefoot Moscato. It's
but
just
it's lovely.
It's sparkling. So I bought this for New Year's Eve, and then come New Year's Eve, I was tired and didn't even open it. So it's still in the fridge tonight, and I had Mike pop it for me.
My gosh.
And I grabbed one of my fancy champagne glasses that has probably never been used.
Look at you. I love that. I had champagne out around the holidays too. And I was like, oh, I can use my champagne flutes because it's like you normally don't use the stuff you got for your wedding, you know?
Exactly. Imagine if I could have just had all that money now.
Well, that's like, not to get too off topic, but like think about all the china that you ordered.
We've used once now. We used it for Thanksgiving this year. We've been married 10 years.
I remember you saying that. But that's why I didn't order china.
Oh.
Because I had found this like antique set of china when I was thrifting one day, and I fell in love with it, and it was perfect colors and everything that went with like my whole color scheme in my kitchen. And I was like, I'm not putting place settings on my registry when I have this that I got for $40, and I've used it every year for like when we host holidays.
Oh, nice.
Winning.
I also, totally off subject, but not really. I also joke that we needed like a 10-year anniversary gift registry and shower because everything we got at our shower like broke this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I feel like I'm right there with like our dishes, our dinner, like our normal
like everyday
dishes,
dinner dishes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're at the 5 coming up on 6-year mark. So I feel like that's normal for like dishes to have to be replaced after 6 years, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, we had some things like a cutting board. I mean, our teapot, I just replaced. We're getting a new one. It should be delivered tomorrow, but that's been kicking for 10 years.
So I'm actually drinking. I was going to drink hot chocolate tonight because I was just like over the day. But then I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm drinking wine.
After there was a day we needed to drink.
Exactly. So I'm actually drinking, it's called Mad Love, and it's a Pinot Grigio, but it's from, my mom had gotten us one of these like wine subscription boxes, but just like one of them, for Christmas as part of our Christmas gift. And it came with like a white wine and a red wine because Kevin drinks red, and then like a whole bunch of little fun things.
And then do you get it every month?
I think she just got us one. I don't think it was like she just got us like a holiday wine box, but they do have one where you can like do the whole wine subscription. But it's called Vine O, a little play on wine. But this one's pretty good.
I was assuming you picked it because of the cute bottle or like cute name.
That's a bonus because you know that's how I choose things.
Okay, so I see that we haven't been here for like 3 weeks. I think it's almost like there's too much.
Yeah, there's too much to even discuss.
I know, it'd be like 2 hours.
Yeah, but I also feel like with a 24-hour news cycle, like stuff that we thought would be important is now like old news, you know? Mm-hmm. But personally, just trying to like get through the day here, get through this week. And I would hate to, like, I don't want to say that I was going into 2021 thinking like going to be so much better than 2020 because like, you know, nothing has really changed that much. But I had a little bit of higher hopes, just a little bit of higher expectations.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah. I feel like this week came in like a train. Like I don't know what I was expecting. Wait, what?
I said, in the words of Miley, like a wrecking ball?
Oh, no, yeah, that's better. It came in like a wrecking ball. It's wrecking my life. No. Kind of the same. Like I slowed down the last 2 weeks of December. I tried not to work. That didn't happen. I ended up working most of the time. And I just sort of like put a lot of stuff off till Monday, and then Monday came and I was like, the fuck did I do?
Yeah. Yeah. What was I thinking?
And then yesterday came and I was like, what is happening in the world? Like, what is this? Is this real life? So we try not to get political because we really just want to be a support system for moms. And whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, your kid still pisses the bed at 2 a.m. and we can support each other on that. But I feel like what's going on now isn't even political anymore. It's
just wrong.
It's just crazy and it's scary. Like I was really overwhelmed with work yesterday, so I was not on Facebook. And then I happened to check my email, and I had an email from, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I get email notifications from People Magazine. And that's how I found out what was going on, because I was like avoiding like Facebook and the TV and like radio because I was like trying to work.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was one of those things where it was like where have I been today? Because the email was like, I don't know if it said 1 or 4 at that point, dead in like capital, like siege at Capitol. And I was like, so I mean, but like it is that dramatic. That is what happened. And this is crazy what we're living through. And
I know. I was on with a bunch of students after school because I'm an advisor, and one of the girls said my name. my last name is so-and-so. My mom said I should get off the computer and come watch the news. Like, something's going down. And I was like, what? And then I was like, okay. I was like, all right, yeah, like, we'll just wrap it up and go watch it. And like, while we're saying we're going to wrap it up, one of the other kids on it was like, oh my God. And like, put his phone up to the camera and was like, look at this. I'm like, what's happening? I was like, all right, talk to you guys later. Stay safe. Like, cause I didn't know what was happening. And I was like, we'll talk tomorrow. And, went and saw on the TV and was just like mayhem.
Yeah.
Absolute mayhem. So, scary, and, to think of where we're at right now, with what's like acceptable for some people and what's not acceptable. And I don't know, it's a draining time, I think. Because you want to watch it, but then you don't want to watch it too much. So
yeah, because then I put on the news last night and I'm like, do I go to bed or like do I stay? Like, is something else like monumental going to happen?
I felt the same way when they reconvened to start counting again. I was like, should I stay up? Like I've never watched votes get counted in Congress before. And here, last night, I'm like, I feel like I just need to see this through. Like, I felt responsible.
I mean, I'm glad I went to bed because they didn't finish till 4 a.m.
Yeah, same. And I had to work today. Yeah. But crazy times, man.
Yeah.
On a side note, I also found out last night, but last night, that I'm going to be going back to work in the building starting the 19th full time.
Oh, no way.
So we were, I guess our education association that I'm in was like very shocked to hear this, because with like the numbers being so high where we are, again, like we weren't anticipating that we would actually return on the 19th as we had planned. But they're giving it a go. And it's like, I feel kind of like, I don't know how to feel about it,
Yeah.
So it's just,
well, and especially with this, like, isn't there a new strain that's more
contagious?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we're actually, I know in New Jersey, at least, the fire and police are getting the vaccine now. Like they're next up to get the vaccine, and then educators are after that group. So that will be,
at least a little bit of a weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, coming around in the next couple weeks. So
okay,
we shall see. But let's just escape reality for a second,
and
or
talk about
our reality.
the drama. Okay, so I want to preface this with this in itself over the past 3 weeks could have been 20 slides. Obviously, like I limited myself, so they're super minimal, and if anything reminds you of something else that happened in the past 3 weeks, please do bring it up.
We literally can't remember.
I cannot remember. All right. So Kim and Kanye reportedly, neither one has publicly addressed anything yet, reportedly have split.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I feel like I'm not shocked by this. Like I was initially like, oh wow. But like the more I really thought about it and read more about it, I was like, no, it makes sense. Like given this past year, and sadly, I would hate to think that it was his mental health struggle that pushed them this way, but I can't imagine being in that type of relationship and the things that he said, like being able to move past that. So
I will say, I'm surprised at the rumor that they're filing for divorce. Them being split and living separate lives, I feel like that's been going on all year. The fact that they're actually taking the step of filing for divorce, if that's really what's happening, I think that kind of surprises me, because I would think that with 4 kids, and just like how much crap Kim got last time she got divorced. That I just would have thought that they would have stayed as a unit at least until like the kids were a little older before actually filing for divorce.
I don't know. See, I feel like I don't know if you've seen the stuff about like how people are saying, all the things she was putting up about like things with her kids, like trying to like, not trying to, I mean, I don't know.
No, yeah, I saw that she's trying to like get custody basically.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe there are some custody concerns and that's why the filing's happening. Like, and then take into account his mental health.
Well, yeah, maybe because of his mental health, she doesn't want him like alone with them or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
But now, in conjunction with this split, there's loads of rumors about who each of them are dating.
This is so weird.
Okay. So Kim, we all know. Do we all know?
I don't think
is becoming a lawyer. And her mentor is Van Jones, who's also a CNN correspondent reporter, something. He shows up there quite often. Yeah. And there's rumors, reports that she's dating him. What do you think about that?
I feel like it's such an odd pairing, but I don't know enough about him besides like the random clips I see of him, on the internet from things that he says.
See, and I don't find it random. I think that Kim attaches herself to someone at like a point in her life or career that makes sense. And at this point where she's is it in law school? I know she's doing some sort of like different path, but becoming a lawyer.
Well, did she graduate college? Did she go to college?
I think she did finish. I think she had a bachelor's degree.
Oh, okay.
And then California has this thing where you can do like an apprenticeship and then take like the bar instead of actually going to law school. And that's what she's doing. And I believe she's doing the apprenticeship under him.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So I feel like it makes sense because she's, working for like prison reform and like getting people out of jail and all of that. So it does kind of make sense to me.
Okay.
And like, when she wanted to be a fashion mogul, she attached herself to Kanye and like.
So then how do you explain Chris Humphries?
Well, that was her phase where she was, her and, her sisters were all dating athletes. That was their thing. They date athletes. So I think, yeah, if you look at the progression, it's like she's always in a serious relationship with something that like makes sense with that stage of her life.
Yeah.
So I think Van Jones does make sense. I also think he's pretty hot for like, I think he's like 50, right?
Really?
Yeah.
I think he was 50.
Yeah. All right, and then the Kanye dating rumors. Have you seen?
Yeah, wait, who is that person that you said?
Okay, he's like a YouTube makeup artist.
All right, so first of all, it's a dude, right?
Yeah, Jeffree Star, is it? Jeffree Star. He's but people are saying like they're friends, and that he just also happens to have a ranch in Wyoming. But then like Jeffree Star is super playing it up because he knew the rumors were out there, and then he posted saying that he was heading to Sunday service on Sunday.
Huh.
So it's kind of like
that's
like he's feeding the rumors too.
Okay.
Like, but then I've heard people say like absolutely definitely not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but have there been rumors of Kanye being bisexual in the past? There have been, right?
Yeah. I think most notably like Amber Rose, you remember he dated her, and you know she's in that whole group that gets real messy on like Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that she had at one point posted, you know, maybe, and not even one point, I think multiple points, had posted stuff like alluding to him liking like butt stuff. Did I just say that?
How do you pull, like, where do you pull all this information out of? Like, how do you recall all of this?
Well, I don't recall any specifics. Like, I just sort of remember. And I feel like, you know how there's always like, he's always involved in like rap feuds. I feel like it comes up a lot in like lyrics and stuff.
That's like something they throw out there.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I guess we'll see what transpires, but all of the Kris Jenner or Kardashian memes that are coming out of this are amazing.
Well, I love the ones that are like sources say, and then they show like Kris at a like computer or something.
Yeah, so I'm here for all the memes that come out of it as well.
Just a real quick one, speaking of splits, divorce filing. Don't know if this even matters to you, but Zoe Kravitz just filed for divorce from her husband.
I did see that, but they haven't been married long, right?
Like no, 18 months. Don't know who he is. Not heartbroken about it.
Yeah, same. But I did see that.
All right, next. So I just wanted to make like a pun, but then I was like, do puns translate when typed about like this being wild?
Maybe that's what you were going to go for.
So Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde are dating. And there's so much going on about when her and Jason Sudeikis actually split.
Yeah.
Because they announced it in November. And when they announced it in November, they said that when they announced it in November, they said that they split earlier in the year and that it was totally amicable and that they're like happily co-parenting. But then, not skinny but not fat, who we both follow, did like a super duper deep dive, and she has found pictures of them like hugging super close to like kissing in the ocean from September.
Yeah.
And then she found pictures of Olivia Wilde still wearing her engagement ring, which I don't think that's too telling because until they announced the split, I think she would still wear it.
Yeah.
And then also an interview, I think that aired in October. And now with how podcasting goes, you could assume that that was probably recorded anywhere from like 8 weeks before, I would say.
Okay.
Where Jason Sudeikis talked about how he knew when he met Olivia Wilde that she'd be the last person that he kissed. So like, if you know you're split from somebody, you don't say that in an interview. You go like, yeah, she's great. She's a great mother. I'll love her forever.
Yeah, be real vague. Like,
Yeah, so it is stacking up to look like they did not split in the beginning of the year, and that maybe they split somewhere around September, which coincides with exactly when Harry Styles got on set of the movie that she's directing.
Okay, so you said September is when they believe that they possibly split and these two started.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's kind of like, okay, why did you split? And like, was it like, did you and Harry start seeing each other before the split or like split
Right.
then? You know what I mean? Like,
And then the thing that people always point out, and this is so true too, if there weren't problems in the relationship, she wouldn't have started up with Harry, right?
yeah.
And then the other thing going around though is that it's completely fake. That her and
for
Jason
their movie.
Sudeikis aren't even split up, and it's 100% for press for the movie because
That's a lot to like do in like a relationship. I feel like that's gotta like cause major problems in a relationship, and it's like they have kids too, so it's
yeah.
not like they're just like some young things just saying, oh yeah, we split up. They really
Yeah,
did, you know?
yeah, you're right. It's weird to do since they have kids, and that's the thing that would make me think it's not real. But it is pretty suspect that this weekend, all of a sudden, they got caught in these pictures, which don't look like paparazzi pictures. Like, that's pretty freaking close. Like,
Yeah.
they'd have seen this person taking the picture. And then since these pictures have been released, you've seen pictures of them out and about together like every day.
Yeah, like with his friends and like offset pictures, not like.
So it's just kind of strange that all of a sudden all the pictures just come out.
Did you see the pictures from this wedding, from this picture where it looked like he was like marrying the couple?
Yeah, he officiated the wedding.
And he was
so that's the other thing they're saying. They're saying it wasn't just like they were both invited to the wedding. Like this was a friend of Harry's and she was there as his date.
Yeah. So we had actually posted a meme about this, like it's only 1 week into 2020 and you know, Kim and Kanye and Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde. And someone had commented like, what's wrong with Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde being together? And
yeah, I know, I almost responded, but I didn't. But it's not that there's something wrong with it. It's that it's like surprising.
Well, and yeah, I don't even like care about the age difference or anything like that. I think what is confusing about it is like she basically left Jason Sudeikis for Harry Styles, and that's what I'm upset about because I love him.
Yeah, and now have you seen like all the memes of people wanting Jason Sudeikis to get together with Jen Aniston?
Yes, and I like that. I'm okay with that one.
Okay, and now I know that you said that things that happened 3 weeks ago no longer seem important.
Was this really 3 weeks ago?
Well, it was on Christmas Day that Amy Schumer posted the picture of Hillary, not Ilaria. Ilaria. Hillary and her baby, and captioned it, Merry Christmas from Jean and I, which is Amy Schumer's son's name.
Yeah.
And then that's what started everything because she went live to address that post and the body shaming.
Yeah.
And when she went live, that's when people noticed that she didn't have an accent anymore. And then
Hillary went live, not Amy.
Yes, Hillary went live to address because she felt like she was being body shamed because some women's bodies just bounce back after having babies, and like she didn't get the joke of it. And I think that like she was like whispering in it, and I guess it's hard to fake a Spanish accent when you're whispering.
Makes sense.
And then someone on Twitter called her out for it, and then it turned into like a huge thread. And I mean, now we're removed a couple weeks, and I think we can all just agree that Hillary Baldwin completely faked being Spanish. She catfished Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, like,
And
do you think
that's
he
wild.
knows though, and he's like playing along with it?
I think he knows
like,
now, but I think that when they met and they began dating, she put it on thick because um in all of the interviews from when they were first married, and she was going on like GMA and Today and doing like cooking segments, her accent was thicker than someone who like immigrated here and learned English as a second language.
wow.
Have you seen the one where she was talking about married life?
No,
I don't
so
want to fake an accent, but the one where that one and the one where she doesn't know how to say cucumber
yeah.
are thick accents. Like I know people who really did grow up bilingual and English isn't their first language that have far less accents than that.
Yeah. So for this, when it first came out, like I saw that post by Amy Schumer and I was like, what is happening here? And then
I know, I didn't even know who the person was in the picture.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know what this is about. And I just like went past it. And then like I know you were like doing a deep dive on it and I was just like not interested.
No?
I don't know why.
Oh my gosh, I am so
like,
because it's so wild to lie about your life publicly for 10 years.
So stupid. Like, did she think, like, it's one thing to lie about it and not be in the public's eye, but like, that's an even bigger risk. Like, to be married to Alec Baldwin, like, what did you think was going to happen?
I can't believe
that's my quote of the week.
Yeah,
that's my quote. What did you think was going to happen?
Right. And I wonder what year Alec Baldwin found out. I want to say it was around 2013 or 14. But then at a certain point,
it was after they got married?
Yes, absolutely. Or maybe even in the wedding planning. I mean, ultimately what it comes down to is that her parents had like vacation property. I don't even think they owned it initially, that they would visit every summer for like 2 weeks when she was growing up in Mallorca. Then when they retired, they purchased property there, but they didn't retire and do that until 2012. And she misled people entirely because there's podcast interviews where they're like, oh, so you're from Spain. And she'll go, my family lives in Mallorca, as her answer to you're from Spain.
Yeah.
Which if you're in a conversation, that doesn't dawn on you and you think that means like, I'm from Mallorca. Yeah. Or when did you move to New York? I moved here when I was 19 to go to college from Spain.
No, from Massachusetts.
No, that's the thing. Not from Boston, where she went to high school and had no accent. Yeah. She says, I forget what exactly it is, but I think that's another one where she goes, my family lives in Mallorca. And like, you're not lying, okay? You're not lying, but you're
she's just being very careful with her words.
And then she said she released a video, and her and Alec too, he released one that was like, you have to, trust the source, or like, look at the source. The source was her, because her management and agents' websites, bios for her, both listed her as born in Spain.
Yeah.
So that's what, like, if I'm doing a story on her, I'm checking the facts with her management and agent. I'm using the bio they provide me for it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you are the source. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, she duped everyone.
Yeah. So I just think that's so crazy.
Do you think she's going to be on Real Housewives of New York now?
No, I think she's going to hide as much as she can because she hasn't admitted any wrongdoing still. She said that journalists got it wrong and she's done nothing wrong.
That's bizarre.
It's so bizarre. It's so, so bizarre. Okay. That was all that I threw in here for celebrity gossip. Do you have anything else in the past 3 weeks you want to mention?
I can't even remember.
What was 3 weeks ago? I know. No clue. All right. Then we'll move on.
Sure.
Lots of stuff on the blog.
Nothing's happened, right?
Too much has happened, I think.
I know. Yeah, that's what it is.
So we have had a lot of things on the blog in the past.
Look at us.
Weeks. I know, right? So last week we had Heather's post, why I stopped making resolutions. And I feel like your post from this week kind of goes hand in hand with it. They're kind of like
Yeah.
a duo.
Yeah. So Heather was like, screw resolutions. Like, we're not doing them anymore. Like, they really just kind of set us up with these really high expectations of ourselves. And in my post that I did earlier this week, what's your word of the year? Kind of piggybacked off of that, but really because I started seeing people writing about like their word of the year. So I dug a little deeper to see what they were talking about and was like, oh, this is something I can get behind, because I really liked what Heather was saying in her post about how like we have these resolutions and like, are they even realistic, you know? And for me, when I set resolutions, because typically I do, like in my head, you know, as soon as I trip up on one of them, I'm like, ugh, I get so down on myself. So I don't know. I feel like with everything going on right now, we need to like be a little more relaxed about things. So the word was kind of a better thing for me. And it like allowed me to kind of really reflect on like, you know, all different areas of my life.
Now, so before you even wrote this, I had also already decided to do a word this year. And I came at it kind of from the opposite end of you, as I've never done resolutions. Like, I'm very lazy.
You're not.
And I just was like never like a goal setter or anything like that. I'm kind of like a what happens happens. It'll happen if it happens kind of person. And so setting a word was sort of like a small foot into the door of like that. So I had already decided to do a word this year before I saw that. But then I was, I really liked how you set it out, like how your word fits into a couple of different like sentences in different areas of your life.
Yeah.
So that's cool. People should check that out.
Thanks. And I like, it was random because I even thought about like my Apple Watch, which I love. I use it to, I know we were talking about like watches earlier. And I really use it to like, oh, it like tracks your fitness and it tracks how many exercise or how many minutes of exercise you do and how much you move and how much you stand on mine. And it gives you like, it's like this goal of the day to close all your rings on your Apple Watch, which means you've done like 12 hours of standing, you've done 30 minutes of exercise, and you've moved for 500 calories. And I realized like, I need to like get away from like, I don't have to set that goal every day. You know, like it's good to have a day where you're not.
How would you ever do 12 hours of standing?
You just have, you have to like stand up once every 12 hours.
Okay.
Just so you're not
like
sitting for hours.
Like, there's days I'm not awake 12 hours. Like, what?
No, like standing once every 12 hours. But like, I would get like so pissed off if I didn't close my rings every day. And I was like, what? Like, why? Like, what is this
like, who is making me do this?
Yeah, Apple. So it's just like kind of like had me really reframe like what my intentions were with, you know, moving forward and whatever. So
yeah. Okay, so also on the blog this week, a fun little tradition we have every year at Your Basic Mom is we put out our top 10 posts from the previous year at the beginning of the year. Big time shout out to Casey, who had 3 blog posts on the top 10 list.
Yeah, she killed it this year.
Yeah, I love to see like what people are really like resonating with. And it was interesting because most of the top 10 posts were from the beginning of the year. I feel like by the, you know, like the middle to the end of the year, people were just like,
we're like
tapped out on everything.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
But I feel like with like the most popular content we have, it's like the mom vents, you know, it's the mom post where it's like, I am just done, you know, and you go off and just let it all out. So
yeah,
it's good. People can like identify with those. So we'll keep,
keep venting for you.
Content
Speaking of keep venting for you, last night and this morning, Claire wrote down all her feelings about everything that was going on at the Capitol yesterday. And I think that most people would read it and be like, yeah, like what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
What are we teaching our kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to Claire for taking the time to get her feelings out. And because I think that it's helpful to read how other people are processing it too, and how other people plan to talk to their kids about it too.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I feel like I'm lucky that like Jackson and Ryan are so young and they don't actually know what's happening right now. But as I was like cleaning up the kitchen tonight, I was like, is this like a time where 10 years from now, they're gonna be like, Mom, what happened on January 6th,
I think
2020?
so, yeah.
What were you doing? Like, what was happening? What were you thinking when it happened? Like a 9/11 for when we were in high school type of thing. So it's crazy. So
It is.
definitely give that a read because it helped me kind of think it through too.
Okay. Now, this is kind of crazy. Some weeks we have like a million things on this slide, and it's been 3 weeks and we've got 3 things on it. Mainly because I watched, as you did, Bridgerton. We're going to get to that last because I feel like we have a lot to say. But I think that's the only new show I watched. I've been, as you know, binge watching ER from season 1. We are now officially on season 8 of 15. So that takes up a lot of my TV viewing time. And then I have my like podcast that I listen to every week. But one that did come up since the last time we were on is You're Wrong About, which one of our past writers or contributors, Jen, has a monthly newsletter that she puts out. And she had mentioned listening to You're Wrong About their series they did on Princess Diana. So I was like, and I went and I listened, and it was so good. They're so funny. I love the hosts, all about it. And so since taking in the 5 episodes about Princess Diana, I listened to 1 episode about Courtney Love. And then I also they did 4 episodes on Jessica Simpson's memoir, which was so good. Now I want to read it. Which, if you told me at some point that we would talk on multiple episodes of Mom Chats about Jessica Simpson's memoir.
I told you it was really good.
I know.
It was surprisingly good.
You didn't mention how much there was in there about John Mayer, though.
I told you that she like puts it all out there.
Oh my gosh, so much. He sounds awful.
Oh yeah, he's a real, you know what.
Yeah. So I really want to read the book now. And then I just started tonight their series on Nancy Grace. But I would recommend this podcast to anyone. Very entertaining.
Okay, and this is the one, I did start listening to that Princess Diana one, but I didn't want to listen too far in because I'm still reading the book.
Right.
And they were like, they do talk about the 2 like big books that are written about her in that.
Right, so, and you're reading the one of them. And you haven't finished that yet? You were reading that 3 weeks ago, Chelsea.
Because I've got a lot going on. So I had Bridgerton happening, then I started watching this show. I'm reading like 2 books at the same time, so I kind of go back and forth. So, and the Princess Diana book is like 700 pages, so cut me a break.
Maybe you should just put the book down and listen to the podcast.
No, I mean, I feel like I've made it too far to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, tell me about Flight Attendant.
Okay, so my mom had actually told me about this show. It's on HBO Max, which we just got because I got rid of Hulu, at least for the month, because we don't really watch anything on Hulu.
Oh, see, Hulu's how I watch, because we don't have regular TV.
Yeah,
so I watch Hulu next day for most shows that are on regular TV.
Yeah, so I just got rid of Hulu, at least, like I said, at least for the month, because I can always resubscribe. But we got HBO Max because we heard there was lots of stuff on there. However, I'm not really pleased with all the stuff that's on there. I don't know if it's because it's new, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of options.
Is there, I want to see The Undoing. That's on there.
Oh, yeah, that's on there. So, I'll get into kind of like where I'm at with my TV shows right now after Bridgerton. But we started watching The Flight Attendant, and it was something that Kevin and I watched together, which is rare that we watch something together because we don't necessarily agree on TV shows. But we decided to watch this one together, and my mom told me it was pretty good. And it is like, so it's Kaylee, how do you say, Cuoco?
Yeah.
Coco,
I think it is.
Coco or whatever. She is like gorgeous, first of all. And so she's the main character in this, and she's a flight attendant. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a second season. And she, I guess, kind of is involved. I don't want to give away too much. She was like involved in like a murder with a passenger. So she's like wakes up and this is all kind of happened around her, but she was so shit-faced that she doesn't like remember anything. So it slowly starts to come back to her piece by piece, and she realizes that she's like in the middle of this huge thing, and like they think she's guilty, but it's really not her. So like throughout the whole season, she's like uncovering also that like all of her family history and how she has become an alcoholic. And so it's just a lot going on, but it is really good. I will say though that I totally called it probably like 2 episodes to the end. I told Kevin like this is what's happening, and like, and he was like, I don't think so. And I'm like, just wait. And then we got to the end and I was like, I'm right.
I love it. I heard her doing like her press for this show on Armchair Expert. That's like the Dax Shepard podcast.
Yeah.
And it did seem really good. And it's one of the shows that like I wanted to watch, but I don't have HBO Max, because she made it out like, even though it's technically like serious or like a drama, it's her. So it's still kind of funny, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It has like its, like comedic side to it, I guess you could say, but like most of it you're just like, what? Like it's, I don't want to say it's a psychological thriller, but there are parts of it that it's a drama, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So
Bridgerton? Are we on Bridgerton? Oh my gosh, this is another book I want to read now.
I know.
It the best?
Yes. So I loved this show. I watched it over my winter break, and I just could not stop watching. It was one of the shows that I was watching late into the night. Like I was staying up late. I was off from school, so it was fine. But like I was staying up late, just watching as many episodes as I could. I probably watched it in like 4 days, I think.
Yeah, I think same here too.
Maybe less.
Yeah, love everything about it. Love the music, love the feel of it. The men worth it. The only thing I think that I was like watching it and it was like relatively like PG-13, let's say, until like, what was it, like episode 4 or 5, and then all of a sudden it was like softcore porn, and I was like, what is happening here? And like Mike was like in the kitchen like, what are you watching? I was like, it wasn't like this last episode. I mean, like, I didn't mind.
It was softcore porn that we are here for.
Not complaining, but was not prepared.
Yeah, my sister actually, when she started watching it later than majority of America, I think. She was like, I was like, oh, just prepare yourself. Like, make sure the boys aren't around when you're watching it. And she's like, why? What do you, like, I'm on episode 2. Like, and I was like, just wait.
Just wait. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of like.
Oh, you went the other way. I went, yeah, I guess it's a lot better. I mean, it's better.
Well, not better. I meant like with the sex scenes. They're kind of like.
Yeah. Increase. Huge increase.
You're like, oh, that happened fast. And then like the one is like a 10-minute montage, like on their honeymoon.
I know you had said that.
We get it.
I was okay with it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is amazing. So basically, if you haven't watched Bridgerton,
there's also like plot points. It's not just
it follows the Bridgerton family, and in London, are they in London?
Yeah, I think they're in London.
They're in London, and it's just like the season of these basically like debutantes, I guess, coming out, and they're like eligible to marry. So the redhead is Daphne, and she is the Bridgerton sister that is going to be, you know, eligible to marry this season. And she had, her father passed away, and her brother, her oldest brother, Anthony, not Anthony, Anthony, is kind of like taking over the male role in the household, and he is basically, I guess, like her like
chaperone.
Yeah, and he's
More
kind
than
of like
that.
in charge of marrying her off, which is so weird. But those were the times, I guess. So she, you know, kind of connects with one of his friends who's also a duke, and then you kind of just see that whole storyline take off.
Basically because all of it also, like, the whole plot centers around, what is her name?
Miss Whistledown. Lady Whistledown.
And so it's basically Downton Abbey meets Gossip Girl. Like, you've got the Gossip Girl, like, feel, vibe, music, style, and then time period. Well, it's even before Downton Abbey. It's probably like a century before Downton Abbey.
Do you think it's like 1800s? I think
so, yeah.
I think I had read that somewhere, that it was like 1800s something.
Well, yeah, and they make
like
reference to, do they make reference to the U.S. Civil War at one point?
The Queen Charlotte.
Or the French Revolution?
I don't know, but they mention Queen Charlotte and King George. Is it King George?
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. That's who the royalty is at the time.
Yeah. So, because when I was like looking into all the details of the show, I was like coming across all these articles, but I loved it. I cannot wait for a season 2. The character who plays Simon, I forget what his name is in real life. It's something very
Reggae, Jean, and I don't remember his last.
They're all like British actors in real life. So I was like in love with his character. Shonda Rhimes. If you followed Mom Chats, you know I am a Shonda Rhimes loyal follower, and her writing behind this is so Shonda Rhimes style, and I love it.
I know, and I'm so curious. This is one where I want to compare the book and the movie.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you're like, like they're going to mess it up, or like it's not going to be that good. I'm very curious, like, the differences and all that. Yes.
And I do want to read, I guess the first book would be, did we figure that out? Is the first
book? Because the second book is all about Anthony and his trying to find a wife. And at the very end of the last episode of the first season, he mentions that now he's going to try to find a wife. So I think this was book 1. Yeah. Okay. So when I'm done my 2 books that I'm currently reading, I guess I'll read that. Okay. But I don't want to I don't know. I feel like with this, I feel a bit different, because normally I'll read the book and then I'll watch it. But with this, I feel like I'm already invested in the characters. I don't know if I can read it first and then. I think I want to read it because I want to keep it going. And like, we're not going to get a second season right away. So I feel like there'll be more info. And then I can picture the characters that I love. That's true. You know, having those scenes and stuff. Yeah. And I guess after reading the first book, you'll have a better idea of like how closely they stick to the book in the show. Oh, Bridgerton. But what I was hinting to earlier was that Bridgerton has kind of like ruined all shows for me for the past few weeks. Like, when I was done watching it, I was kind of like, well, what am I going to watch now? And I couldn't find anything that was as exciting to watch. I know. I think that's why there's no TV shows. I started The Teacher. I think I watched like 4 episodes of it, but I'm just like, I can't get into anything like that. Yeah. It's a little too awkward and creepy. Yeah. But I will say that my kids were around when I started the first episode, and they immediately knew that it was what was spoofed on Saturday Night Live. Wait, I haven't been watching Saturday Night Live. Yeah, they did a
miss that
spoof of it. And the spoof was actually really, really funny.
Wait, of the teacher or of Bridgerton?
Of the teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Okay, our favorite follows currently.
Okay, so I don't know.
I love how yours are always serious and mine are always like, wanna laugh?
So I've been like, I get stuck in the reels. You know how you just watch a reel and then you flip and then you watch the next one?
No, I never watch reels.
Not
But
do
okay.
that? Okay, so I watch reels on repeat, and majority of them, I guess, due to my search history, are like crafting, DIY kind of stuff. So this is an account that I recently started following, and she's got so much cute DIY stuff and like home renovation stuff. And she posted this like heart wreath for Valentine's Day that I'm totally gonna make. So fancy fixed decor.
Nice.
Give it a follow.
Okay, and I think you should follow Zillow Gone Wild for a good laugh about crazy houses. So basically, they go through Zillow listings and they post the most batshit stuff they find. I sent you one the other day where there was a toilet in a bathroom that was like up steps that were next to the sink.
Yeah, and it was like upstairs toilet or something.
Crazy weird stuff. Val sent one today, our friend Val, who has a very unique style. I will say. She sent one today and was like, I don't see anything wrong with this house. I'm like, you wouldn't. That's right.
Did you see, I don't know if it was on this account, but the picture of the house and there's like a person dressed up as a ghost basically throughout the pictures?
That goes around like all the time. That was something I think that like people were doing for a while to try to like get their listings shared a lot.
Oh, okay. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Okay. Last but not least.
Memes.
Okay. So I posted this meme because it's so me. It shows one person looking at the TV, says my family watching a movie, and then the other person is so clearly like trying to talk while they're paying attention to something else. It says me explaining everything I know about the cast's personal lives. Because I've recently told you guys that this is what I do when I watch shows. I am literally like on IMDb while I'm watching shows, IMDb, flipping back to Wikipedia, like you said, like Googling what time things took place and if the town they're talking about is real or not. Also often have Google Maps pulled up. Watching shows, checking where everyone else is from, why I recognize them, telling Mike. This has been a big one with watching ER though, because there's so many people that have been in like past.
I'm sure, yeah, that's like where they got their start.
Yeah, like anyone famous did an episode of ER.
And I just want to note also that I sent this to you and said, Julie.
Yes, and I saw it and I was like, yes, this is me. This is how I watch television.
Mine is from the Tinder blog and it says, I'd like to cancel my subscription to 2021. I've experienced the free 7-day trial and I'm not interested. Matt.
Solid. Very true.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, that's everything.
It's been a very interesting first week of 2021. But be sure to check back next week to see what else has transpired. We'll be here to chat it up and drink wine or whatever you're drinking with you. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Bye. Bye.